Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I am Payal Dutta and today we will be studying Act 1 Scene 3 of Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. So if you are new to my channel, ding dong, please don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so now as I tell you in all my videos that whenever you are studying any scene, you must remember the setting. So this scene, it takes place in Rome, a street. And one more thing you must know that this scene, it takes place on the night before the Ides of March. Before the 15th of March. So this is the night on 14th of March. So this scene, you see, when it starts, it begins with thunder and lightning. Now Shakespeare, he uses the setting of thunder and lightning to create an eerie atmosphere, to prepare the audience for the upcoming tragedy. Even if you read Macbeth, you will see that the three witches, they enter the stage with thunder and lightning that are striking. So it is like the thunder and lightning, they are indicators of some bad omen. So in this scene too, you have thunder and lightning. And enter from opposite sides. So this is the stage direction. So from opposite sides, that is opposite wings of the stage, you have two characters entering. Who are they? Casca and Cicero. Now Casca, he has come with his sword drawn. Sword drawn means he has taken out his sword and it is as if Casca, he is ready for any challenge. And then Cicero, he says, "Good evening, Casca. Brought you Caesar home." That is, good evening, Casca. Did you come along with Caesar to his house? So did you drop Caesar in his house? Did you accompany him? Why are you breathless? Why are you panting? Why are you out of breath? And why stare you so? And why are you looking like that? Stare means to gaze. Casca, are you not moved? Moved means disturbed. So Cicero, are you not disturbed? When all the sway of earth shakes like a thing unfirm? So all the sway of earth, sway means all the formations, all the creation of earth, they are shaking like an unfixed thing, like an unfirm thing, as if they have broken down. So by seeing all these things, by witnessing all these things, Cicero, are you not disturbed? Are you not moved? And then Casca goes on to say what are the things that he had seen before, all the disasters that he had witnessed before. Oh, Cicero, I have seen tempests. Tempest means I have seen storms. When the scolding winds have rived the knotty oaks. So these oak trees, they are knotted, they are twisted. So their branches, because they are twisted, they are very strong. And what did Casca see? He saw the scolding winds, that is the cruel, the merciless winds. They have rived these oak trees. Rived means they have split the oak trees. So something that was as strong as oak trees, that has been split by the merciless winds. And he has seen another thing. What did he see? I have seen the ambitious ocean. The ambitious means the revolting, the raging ocean. Swell and rage and foam. Swell means to rise. Rage means it had continued with great force. And foam means formation of bubbles. So this ocean, it was revolting. It was rising. It was coming in great force and forming bubbles. Why? to be exalted with the threatening clouds. So the clouds, they were threatening, they were frightening, they were scary. And this ocean, it seemed like it wanted to be exalted. Exalted means elevated with the clouds. So it seemed as if the ocean wanted to rise. It wanted to rise to touch the clouds. But never till date, never till now, that is, never till the present moment, never till today, did I go through a tempest dropping fire. So today I have witnessed something very different. Go through means to experience. I experienced a tempest. I experienced a storm. And this storm was dropping fire. It was dropping thunderbolts. It was dropping lightning. And then he goes on to say that what are the possible reasons for such disasters? For this disaster, this dropping of fire. Either there is a civil strife in heaven. So civil strife, that is, an internal conflict is taken place in heaven. So there is a conflict among the gods, an internal conflict. That is why such disasters are taking place. Or else the world, that is the human world. What are they doing, the human world? They are too saucy with the gods. Saucy means they are very disrespectful. They are being rude to the gods, and that is why the gods incenses them to send destruction. So that is why the gods are annoyed. They are infuriated. They are furious. And they have sent destruction on earth. They have sent such devastation, such disasters. Then Cicero says, why saw you anything more wonderful? So have you seen anything more magnificent, more heavenly tonight? Then Casca points out 4 things that he had seen, 4 unusual, uncommon things. Casca, the first thing that he sees. Now this speech is very important for your exam purpose. So remember these 4 points. Casca, a common slave. You know him well by sight. You know him well by sight means he is telling Cicero that this slave, you recognize him very well. A common slave held up his left hand, which did flame and burn. So there is a slave, and he was lifting his left hand, and his left hand was on fire. Like 20 torches joined, like 20 burning sticks held together. And yet his hand not sensible of fire. So his left hand was burning like 20 sticks held together, but he was not sensible. He was emotionless of the burn of fire, and he remained unscorched. Unscorched means he was not injured, he was unburned. So this is something very unusual. The second thing that he saw was, besides, I have not since put up my sword. So remember when Casca entered, he had his sword drawn, that he was ready for challenge. So this second thing that he had seen, since then he had not put away his sword in his sheath. What did he see? Against the capital I met a lion. So he met a lion near the capital. And what did this lion do? It gazed upon me. It glared upon Casca. And this lion, it was surly, went surly by. Surly means in a very bad temper. So this lion was in an angry mood, without annoying me. So without harming Casca, this angry lion, he glared at Casca and he went away. Casca wasn't expecting that. He was expecting to be attacked, and so he was ready for challenge. And the third thing he saw was there were drawn upon a heap 100 ghostly women. Meaning in a heap, in a bundle, in a cluster, you had hundreds of women who were ghostly, who were frightened, who were horrified. They were transformed with their fear. Transformed means changed. So fear had controlled them. And these women, they swore. They swore means they declared that they saw men all in fire walk up and down in the streets. So these women, they claimed that they saw the men of Rome walking on fire in the streets, and that frightened them, that transformed them, that aroused fear in them. And the fourth thing, the final thing that Casca had witnessed was that yesterday the bird of night here refers to the owl. So the owl did sit even at noonday. So the owl usually comes out at night. But even at noonday, this owl was sitting in the marketplace, hooting and shrieking. Shrieking means it was screaming. So this is very unusual. And you must remember that the hooting of the owl is an indication of bad omen. That is, something bad is going to happen in Rome. When these prodigies do so conjointly meet, prodigies means these strange things. So Casca is telling when such strange things, that is, this burning hand of the slave cannot hurt him, he's feeling emotionless, when the lion is not attacking me, when the owl is sitting in noonday in the marketplace and hooting, when these women are witnessing men walking on the streets of fire, when all such strange things are happening conjointly, meaning happening together, let not the men of Rome say that these are reasons, they are natural. So let them not take these things very naturally, very lightly, because Casca believes that these omens, they are portentous things. They are bad omens, they are warnings, they are foreshadowing something bad. Bad upon what? Unto the climate, unto the country, that is Rome. That they point upon. That they point upon means where they occur. So wherever these omens, they occur, they take place, it brings something bad unto the climate, unto the country. So something bad is going to take place in Rome. That is why you have these bad omens taking place. Cicero, indeed, that yes, you are right. It is a strange disposed time. That is, it is a very strange arrangement of time. But men may construe things. So these Romans, they have this idea of construing things, of interpreting things, of guessing what is happening after their fashion, in their own way. So when the Romans, they will see these omens taking place around them, they will interpret it, they will guess about it in their own way. And their guessing is going to be clean from the purpose of the things themselves. So it is going to be totally different from the actual meaning of these omens. It will be clean, it will be removed from the purpose. The purpose means the actual meaning of these omens. And then Cicero, he asked Casca that comes Caesar to the capital tomorrow. So remember, tomorrow is the 8th of March. So is Caesar coming to the capital tomorrow? Casca, he doth that yes, Caesar is coming to the capital tomorrow. For he did bid Antonius send word to you, he would be there tomorrow. So Caesar, he bid Antonius, he commanded, he instructed, he ordered Antonius, that is Antony, to send word to you, to notify you that he would be there in the capital tomorrow. Cicero, good night then, Casca. This disturbed sky is not to walk in. So they part. So Cicero is telling Casca that this troubled weather is not good for us to walk about in the streets, so it is better that we depart. And then he tells adieu to Casca, and Casca too says farewell Cicero, and Cicero leaves. So here you have Casca left alone. And then enters Cassius. Remember Cassius, he has this habit of gathering members to join his conspiracy. So now that Casca is alone, he thinks that now this is the best chance for me to manipulate Casca, just the way he manipulated Brutus. Cassius, who's there? Casca, a Roman. Cassius, Casca by a voice. So remember in Act 1 Scene 2, Caesar had said that Cassius is a very good observer. So here Cassius hears Casca's voice and he quickly identifies him. Casca, your ear is good, Cassius. What night is this? So like ordinary people, they are having a conversation about the weather. Cassius, a very pleasing night to honest men. Casca, whoever knew the heavens menace so? Menace means they're frightened. So Casca is telling that who could ever think that heaven could raise such a night that is so frightening, that is so threatening. Cassius, those that have known the earth so full of faults. So the people of Rome, or the people on earth who know that the people are guilty, they know that heavens are capable of creating such frightening nights. So he is indirectly telling Casca that it is because of our own faults that such a night has been created by heavens. It is because of our guilts. Then he tells Casca what he has been doing so far. For my part, I have walked about the streets of Rome, submitting me unto the perilous night. So I have surrendered myself to this perilous, this unsafe night, and thus unbraced. Unbraced means I have unbuttoned my coat, Casca, as you can see, have bared my bosom, I have bared my chest to the thunderstone, to the lightning. And when the cross blue lightning seemed to open the breast of heaven, so from the clouds, the breast of heaven, when the lightning was striking, what did I do? I did present myself. I opened my chest, I bared my chest, even in the aim. In the aim means in the direction, and very flash of it, the very flash of the lightning. So Cassius, he was walking down the streets of Rome, and he had bared his chest, and when the lightning was flashing, he turned towards the lightning in the direction of the lightning, and he bared his chest. So here you see Shakespeare is pointing out the theme of fate and free will. So Cassius, he is not giving up to fate. He is not giving up his future to the destiny. He is acting in his free will. Casca, but wherefore did you so much tempt the heavens? Wherefore means why. So why did you tempt the heavens like that? Why did you unbutton your shirt? Why did you tempt heaven? Why did you provoke heaven? Why did you attract heaven in such a way? Because it is the part of men to fear and tremble. Part of men means it is the role of human beings to fear, to shiver, to tremble. And when should they fear and tremble? When the most mighty gods by token send such dreadful heralds to astonish us. So when the gods, they send tokens, they send indications. Indications of what? Of heralds, of forewarnings, of omens. And these omens, they are dreadful, they are terrible. So when the gods are sending such terrible foreshadowing, God is sending such indications, it is the role of human beings to fear, to be astonished, to be surprised, and tremble with fear, shiver with fear, shake with fear. Cassius, you are dull, that is, you are not wise, Casca, and those sparks of life, those spirit of liveliness that should be in a Roman, that a Roman should have, you do want, that is lacking in you. So Casca, you are not high-spirited, you lack the enthusiasm that should be there in a Roman. Or else you use not, or else you do not show your spirit. You pretend to be dull. You hide your energy. You look pale and gaze and put on fear. So you are pretending to be faded. You are pretending to be afraid. And cast yourself in wonder. Cast means you are shaping yourself. You are creating yourself in wonder, in amazement, to see the strange impatience of the heavens. So in order to see the strange frustrations, impatience, displeasure of the heavens, you are shaping yourself to be dull. You are shaping yourself to act in surprise. But if you would consider, that is, if you think about it as to why these things are happening, the true cause of all these fires, these lightnings, these thunders, why all these gliding ghosts, these floating silent spirits, why all these birds, beasts, that is the owl and the lion, from their quality and kind, from their nature and their characteristics. Why old men fool and children calculate. So why these old men and children have the power, this mystical power to make predictions. Why all these things change from their ordinance. Ordinance means their normal regulation. So all these things, they are changing, they are converting, they are shifting from their normal regulation, their natural behavior, their natures, and preformed faculties. Faculties means their capabilities, their prevailing capabilities, to monstrous quality, to evil things. So here Cassius, he is telling Casca that if you think about it, that why these fires are taking place, why ghosts are gliding, why these birds and beasts have changed their nature, why children, they can make predictions, all these natural things, they are changing into terrible things, then you shall find, that is, you will discover, that heavens hath infused them with these spirits. Infused means to fill. So heaven is responsible for all these things. Heaven has filled these things with such spirits, with such fearful spirits. And why did heaven do so? To make them instruments, to make them indicators of fear and warning unto some monstrous state. Monstrous state means some ruthless state. So he is talking about merciless Rome. So heavens have sent some indicators, some predictors to human beings, to the people of Rome, warning them that something bad is going to happen in Rome. Now could I, Casca, name to thee a man, name to you a man. Here man refers to Caesar. So I can name a man to you who is like this dreadful night, who is equal to this fearful night, this frightening night. And that man, he thunders, lightens, opens graves, and roars as doth the lion in the Capitol. So you see, he too is like a bad omen for Rome, because he is like the thunder and lightning. He opens graves. Remember, Cassius had told Caesar that if you pronounce your names, what will happen? Caesar's name will give rise to spirits. So here again he is telling that Caesar, he was capable enough to open graves in Rome. That is, bring something deadly, bring destruction in Rome. And roars as doth the lion. So in the Capitol, Caesar, he was given such importance. So that is why in the Capitol, he roars like a lion, because he can be proud over there. But even then, he is a man no mightier than thyself or me. So he's telling Casca that Caesar, he is not superior. He is equal to us, just like you and me. See, remember, he had said the same thing to Brutus, that there is nothing superior about Caesar. In personal action, in personal deeds, we are all equals. Yet, see what the Romans have done? Yet prodigious grown and fearful. Prodigious grown means that Caesar has grown in power immensely, prodigiously. And that has brought fear in Rome. As these strange eruptions are. Eruptions means these outbreaks. So just like these destructions, these strange outbreaks, Caesar, he has turned out to be very fearful. And then Casca, because remember, Cassius had told Brutus that the bluntness of Casca was like a sauce to his cleverness. So here Casca is proving it. So though Cassius does not mention the name of Caesar, Casca immediately understands that Cassius is talking about Caesar. And so he says, "'Tis Caesar that you mean, is it not Cassius?" Cassius. Let it be who it is, so let us not name him anymore. For Romans now have thews and limbs like their ancestors. Thews and limbs means they are muscular like their ancestors, their forefathers. So they are physically like their forefathers. But woe the while, that is misery to the present moment. Woe means sorrow. Our fathers' minds are dead. So mentally we are no longer like our ancestors. We may be physically like them, but mentally we are weak. We are governed, we are controlled by our mother's spirits. By our mother's spirits means by the weaker vessel. Our yoke, that is, our generation is ready to accept the burden of suppression, the domination and sufferance, the tolerance that we show. That is making us womanish. That is making us inferior. We are allowing Caesar to dominate us. We are accepting the tolerance and we are acting to be underlings. Remember, he had said that it is our fault that we are underlings. Casca says that indeed you are right. They say the senators, that is the magistrates of Rome, tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as a king. So they will confirm Caesar as the king of Rome. And Caesar shall wear his crown, that he will get his power by sea and land. So in every place in Rome, throughout the Roman Empire, tomorrow Caesar will come into power. Except Savior in Italy. Except in Italy, he is going to get his power in every place in Rome. And Cassius, when he hears that Caesar will come to power, what does he say? I know where I will wear this dagger. Then, so he had his dagger outside, ready for challenge. So he is telling that now I know where I will wear this dagger, where I will put this dagger. So he is planning to stab himself, to kill himself, to commit suicide. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. Deliver Cassius means I will kill myself. From bondage will deliver. I will save myself. I will free myself from this bondage. This bondage of what? This bondage of slavery that is about to come in Rome. Therein, ye gods, you make the weak more strong. Therein, ye gods, you tyrants do defeat. So he is telling that the gods, with the help of suicide, you make the weak man strong. And through suicide, the dictators, the oppressors, the tyrants, you overthrow them. You defeat them. Because see, if there is no one to rule, then the dictators, they are already defeated. They are already overthrown. Then Cassius goes on to say what are the things that cannot prevent him from committing suicide. Nor stony tower, nor walls of beaten brass, nor airless dungeon, nor strong links of iron can be retentive to the strength of spirit. Can be retentive means cannot prevent me to the strength of spirit, to my determination. That is, I am determined, I am resolute to die, I will commit suicide and nothing can prevent me. The stony towers. So you know, though in those days, the prisoners were kept in towers. So those stony towers or the walls that are made of brass, the dungeons, that is the prisons that are airtight, they are airless, without ventilation, all these things, they cannot prevent me from dying. The strong links of iron. Links means the attachments, the chains of iron. So you cannot chain me down, you cannot lock me in places, you cannot put me around the walls. I will commit suicide because I am determined. But life, being wary of these worldly bars means these temporary obstacles. Life is exhausted. It is tired of all these temporary obstacles. Never lacks power to dismiss itself. So life, I can let go of it. I don't lack the power to let go of my life. I can commit suicide and quit anytime I feel like. And if I know this, if I am aware that I can free myself from slavery by committing suicide, know all the world besides, let all the other Romans be aware of it too. That part of tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off at pleasure. So that part of tyranny, that oppression, that suppression that I bear, that I currently suffer, I can shake off, I can overthrow at my own pleasure. It is all in my hands. My destiny is in my hands. So at my pleasure means by committing suicide. And then you have a thunder strike. Casca. So can I, that is even I can shake off this slavery by committing suicide. And so every bondman in his own hands bears the power to cancel his captivity. So Casca is telling that if so be the case, then every bondman, every oppressed person, every slave in his own hand has control over his destiny. He can control his destiny. He has the power to cancel. He has the power to escape his captivity, his slavery by committing suicide. Cassius. And why should Caesar be a tyrant then? So if we all commit suicide, Caesar cannot be a dictator anymore. He cannot be a tyrant anymore. Poor man. So if he doesn't have this dictatorship, he becomes inferior. He becomes poor, weak. I know he would not be a wolf, but that he sees the Romans are but sheep. So because he looks at the Romans as sheep, he considers himself as a wolf. He were no lion, were not Romans hinds. So these Romans, we are underlings. We are allowing ourselves to act like hinds, like deer. And that is why Caesar, he is taking opportunity of the situation and roaring like the lion. Those that with haste will make a mighty fire, begin it with weak straws. So weak straws means the weak twigs. And haste means to hurry. So, Cassius is telling that if you light the weak twigs, even they can cause destruction. If you light these weak twigs in a hurry, they will cause mighty fire. So, Caesar, he is weak. But because we are allowing him to rise in power, he might create something destructive. What trash is Rome? What waste is Rome? What rubbish? How valueless, so unimportant. And what offal? Offal means waste. When it serves for the base matter to illuminate so vile a thing as Caesar. So the base matter. So Caesar is like a base matter. He is worthless. But what have the Romans done? They have illuminated him. They have brightened him. They have given him a position that he is unworth of. So vile a thing as Caesar. Vile means so unpleasant a thing as Caesar. He has been given such worthiness. So what a pathetic condition is there in Rome. But oh grief, that sorrow come to me. Where hast thou led me? So where am I leading towards? Because I perhaps speak this, I am telling all my emotions, what I feel about Caesar, to a person before a willing bondman. So he is actually telling Casca that Casca, you are a willing bondman. You are someone who is agreeing to be a slave to Caesar. And I am expressing my feelings to you. So it is absolutely useless. Because then I know my answer must be made. That is, if you go and tell Caesar that these are the things that I said, then I must face the consequences of my words. But I am armed, that I am prepared to face all the dangers. And dangers are to me indifferent. They are insignificant. They are not important anymore. Casca. You speak to Casca, and to such a man that is no flaring telltale. So Casca is telling that you are talking to me and I am not going to mock you. I am going to support you. Hold my hand. So they are going to part now. They are going to depart. And so Casca is telling, hold my hand. Let's shake hands and depart. So this shaking of hands is like, I am going to offer you my support and we are going to depart right now. Be factious for redress of all these griefs. Be factious, meaning let us divide, let us split and redress. Redress means to rectify all these griefs, all these troubles and all the wrongs that are happening in Rome. And I will set this foot of mine that I will take part in this enterprise, this plan, as far as who goes farthest, that I will support you as much as I can to remove, to rectify, to redress the troubles and wrongs that are taking place in Rome. And then Cassius says, there's a bargain made. Bargain means that there's a deal taking place. Now you know, Casca, I have moved already. Moved means I have persuaded already some certain of the noblest minded Romans, some of the high ranking Romans, I have persuaded them to undergo with me, to take up with me an enterprise, a plan. And that plan is honorable, dangerous consequence. So that plan is dangerous. Its results, its outcome, they are dangerous, but it is honorable. And I have persuaded few high-ranking nobles to take part in that plan along with me. And I do know by this, they stay for me in Pompey's porch. So they are waiting for me in Pompey's porch. Pompey's porch means Pompey's theatre. For now, that is this present moment, this fearful night, there is no stir or walking in the street. So there is no movement in the street. There is no one in the street in this thunder, in this lightning. And the complexion of the elements, that is, the appearance of the sky, that is the deadly sky, the threatening sky, it is in favor of our plan. In favors like the work that we have in hand. Whatever we are planning, it is as deadly as the atmosphere. Most bloody, fiery, and most terrible. Bloody means it is very cruel. Fiery, it is raging, and it is terrible. It is very scary. It is frightening. So our plan is just suitable for this atmosphere. And Casca says, stand close a while, for here comes one in haste. So now that we are parting, just wait a bit longer, because I can see someone is coming in a hurry, in haste. Cassius, 'tis Cinna. I do know him. That is, I can recognize that person who is coming. He is Cinna. And how do I recognize him? By his gait. Gait means by his style of walking. So see, mark again that Cassius is a very good observer. He just saw Cinna's style of walking and he identified that that is Cinna. He is a friend, and enter Cinna. Cinna, where haste you so? And where are you going in such a hurry? Cinna, to find out you. So I am in search of you. Who's that? Metellus Simba. So Cinna, he is asking, he points out to Casca and he says that is that person Metellus Simba? Cassius, no, it is Casca. One incorporate in our attempts. Incorporate means he is a member. He is a member to our attempts. Our attempts means our venture, our plan, the plan that we are going to do. Am I not stayed for Cinna? That is, am I not late for the meeting? Are the others waiting for me at Pompey's theatre? Cinna, I am glad on it. That is, I am glad to hear that we have another member, that Casca is joining our conspiracy. What a fearful night is this. There's 2 or 3 of us have seen strange sights. So there are strange sights being seen all over. And then Cassius says, am I not stayed for? Tell me. So come to the main point. Let's not talk about the weather anymore. So tell me, am I late for the meeting? Cinna, yes, you are. Oh, Cassius, if you could but win the noble Brutus to our party. So Cinna, because he's seeing that Cassius was able to bring Casca in their conspiracy, he is now pleading Cassius that if we could win, that is, if we could persuade Brutus in our conspiracy, it would be great. Cassius, be you content, that be happy, be satisfied. Good Cinna, because Cassius knows that he is going to go to Brutus and win him. And then Cassius, he instructs Cinna to deliver letters to Brutus. Remember, Cassius had said that I will write handwritten letters to Brutus as if they came from different Romans. So he has given Cinna the responsibility to deliver those letters. Here he gives Cinna 3 letters and tells him where to deliver it. So the first letter he gives to Cinna and says, take this paper, that is, take this letter and look you lay it in the praetor's chair. Praetor is the magistrate. So lay it, put it on the magistrate's chair where Brutus may but find it. So it must come in Brutus's notice. Then he gives the second letter. Throw this in at his window. So throw this letter at Brutus's window in his house. And the third letter he gives and says, set this, that is, attach this with wax upon old Brutus's statue, upon Junius Brutus's statue. And when you have done all this, what will you do? Repair to Pompey's porch. You will return to Pompey's theatre, where we will have the meeting, where you shall find us, the other conspirators. And then he asked whether the other members of the conspiracy, they have reached the meeting or not. Is Decius, Brutus and Trebonius there? So have they reached? Cinna, all but Metellus Cimber, that yes, everyone has reached the meeting, only Metellus is not there. That is why he thought that Casca was Metellus Cimber. And he is gone to seek you at your house. So Metellus Cimber had gone to Cassius's house to fetch him in the meeting. Well, I will hie, that is, I will hurry and so bestow. So I will deliver these papers, these letters as you bade me. Bade me means as you have instructed me. Cassius, that done, repair to Pompey's theatre. So once you have delivered the 3 letters, go to Pompey's porch and exit Cinna. He goes to deliver the letters as instructed by Cassius. And then Cassius goes on to say, come, Casca, you and I will yet, ere day. Ere day means before sunrise. At dawn, what will we do? We will see Brutus at his house. So now we have to bring Brutus in our conspiracy. So we will go to Brutus's house before sunrise. 3 parts of Brutus, 3 parts of him is already ours. So we have already been able to bring him in our support. 3 parts of him are convinced. And the man entire, that this time when we go to Brutus, we will convince him entirely. Upon the next encounter, yield him ours. Yield him ours means he will surrender himself to us. So in our next encounter, in our next meeting, that is tomorrow before sunrise, what will happen? Brutus, he is going to be completely in our favor. He is going to join our group. Casca, oh, he sits high in all the people's heart. Sits high means he has great reputation. So he is in high position in the hearts of the Romans. And that which would appear offense in us. So whatever misdeed we do, whatever crime we do, his countenance, that is Brutus's appearance, will change to virtue and to worthiness. So all the bad things that we are going to do, the crime, the misdeed, in the presence of Brutus, even those crimes will seem acts of virtue, acts of goodness, acts of worthiness. And Brutus is going to act like rich alchemy. So this is a simile. So in alchemy, just the way a base metal is converted into something rich as gold, the presence of Brutus, the appearance of Brutus will convert crime into virtue. So his presence is very important for us. Cassius, him here refers to Brutus. Him and his worth and our great need of him, you have right well conceited. So Cassius is telling that Brutus's worth and his need in our conspiracy, you have well assessed, you have well judged, you have well concluded, Casca. So let us go, let us leave, for it is after midnight and ere day. So after midnight and before the first light of the sun, that is before sunrise, we will awake Brutus. We will wake him. and be sure of him. Be sure of him means that we will be sure that Brutus will be in our favor. We will be certain of his collaboration in our conspiracy. We will make sure that Brutus completely surrenders himself to us. And saying this, they both leave. So with this, I come to an end of today's explanation. I hope there are no doubts and I could explain to you everything. But even then, if you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment section. I will definitely answer. And you have Julius Caesar quiz links in the description below, so you can always try them to see whether you have understood each scene or not. You can even check my playlists because I have given the line-by-line explanation of every act and every scene. You even have explanations of texts of other books like Treasure Chest, Prisms, and all the other books that are there in your syllabus. You can check out the shorts. In the short videos, I have given the explanation and the solution to Total English Grammar. You can even join the WhatsApp group link that I have given where I hold daily contests. So you can participate in those contests and win big. So till then, ta-ta!